Hello you all. Right, today we've been making some rhubarb wine because it's time for the second harvest of our rhubarb patch. So here we are, we're just grabbing our rhubarb and the birds have come to say hello and help out as always. They just love scooching around trying to find all the grubs and slugs and worms from when we've been gardening. Anyway, rhubarb wine. I've made 2 batches this year. This is the second batch. And I've started to drink the first batch already. Chopping up the rhubarb. You need about 6 kilos of rhubarb to make a 2-gallon batch. I tend to chop the rhubarb into 1-inch chunks and then throw it all into a big bucket, a fermenting vessel bucket thingamy-bob, and there it goes in. And then next, a big drink of the last batch of rhubarb wine you've made. I throw in 3 bananas, all chopped up, and mash them, chop them, shove them straight in as well. There they go. Hey, they're in. And then I add 1 mug of very strong tea. So yep, in the mud it goes. And now the boiling water. There it is. Awesome job. And that's going to get thrown into the bucket as well, along with 2 kilos of sugar. Normally I would top up the sugar at a later date just to keep the fermentation going a bit more. So there's the 2 kilos in, and then I top it up to the 2-gallon mark with boiling water. There's the kettle already. Lovely job. And boil that a few times, top it up, and give it a really good stir. There it goes. I'm going to let the water cool down now until it gets to room temperature. Then I'm going to add some yeast. I tend to use a high alcohol dessert wine type of yeast because the rhubarb wine is a great dessert wine. So you want a nice decent yeast that can deal with the high alcohol content of a dessert wine. There it is. So I'm going to add that, then I'm going to let the buckets with all the contents in stand for about 3 days. So 3 days later you want to pour your wine through a colander or a sieve, or maybe some cheesecloth if you have it, into another bucket. This way you're removing all of the rhubarb from the liquid, and you then want to put the liquid into 2 or 3 demijohns. There it is, lovely pink colour. So you siphon it from your second bucket into a demijohn using a hose. Give it a good suck, have a bit of a taste as well as you do it, and wait for it to fill up. Sorted. So there you have it. 3 demijohns filled with rhubarb wine. It's not as pink as I would have wanted. This one came from the first batch, so I do think the first harvest of a rhubarb plant makes a better coloured wine than the secondary batch. But it's all going to be in the taste test, so I have to wait now for another 3 months for it to finish bubbling. Then store it for as long as you can wait. Tidy.